Hi, my name is Tommy Deanna. I am co-creator of this YouTube channel, Relax, where me and my friend Joe offer commentary on television shows and film, as well as providing reviews on new releases. Today, I'm going to be talking about The King of Staten Island, featuring Pete Davidson, Bill Burr, Steve Buscemi, and Marissa Tomei. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get into the review. First off, if you want to see more content from me and my friend Joe, consider subscribing below and liking the video. We're going to be offering more movie reviews and just overall content on our favorite movies and TV shows. But yeah, King of Staten Island. I gave it a watch the day it came out on Friday. Bought it on demand. I'm a big fan of Judd Apatow, and I love Pete Davidson's stand-up, so I really wanted to check out this movie. IMDb's description of this movie is, Scott has been a case of arrested development since his firefighter dad died. He spends his days smoking weed and dreaming of being a tattoo artist until events force him to grapple with his grief and take his first steps forward in life. IMDb also has this movie rated at a 7.2. I know when it first came out, we checked the other day on Friday, it was rated a lot lower. I think it was in the low 3s, even at a high 5 at one point. I think it was low 3s, like it was like a 6.3, and now it's a 7.2. One thing I do have to say about this movie is this movie has a runtime of 2 hours and 16 minutes, which is very long for a comedy, and it feels even longer because comedies are usually an hour 30, an hour 45 tops. So this movie is very long. This movie also does get better as the movie goes on. The first scene in the movie is one of the best scenes in the movie. It sets the table for the entire film and really gives you a window to Pete Davidson's kind of mind in the first scene of the movie without any dialogue. It's also blessed with Kid Cudi music. I know that Pete Davidson has a very close relationship with Kid Cudi in real life, and he features a few of his songs in the movie. And you could tell that Pete Davidson had a huge say in the soundtrack of this movie. My co-creator of the YouTube channel made a great point, saying that you could really tell the parts that Pete Davidson had a huge influence on and the parts that Judd Apatow had a huge influence on. Yeah, the first song in the movie is Pursuit of Happiness, which is sick. This movie is extremely personal to Pete Davidson. You could tell it's pretty much about his life. It's not really beating around the bush at all. He plays this guy called Scott, and that's actually the name of his dad in real life. And he plays an aspiring tattoo artist. He's not a comedian in the movie, but he lives in Staten Island, which he does now. He lives with his mom in Staten Island right now. So the movie really seems like a very accurate representation of his life, besides the fact that he's like a bum. One of Judd Apatow's best attributes as a director is that he really makes anything relatable. I've been lucky enough to not really struggle with my mental health too much, but Judd Apatow and Pete Davidson make this movie very relatable and kind of put you in someone's shoes who's going through depression and struggling with their mental health. And Pete Davidson has been very open about struggling with his mental health. He kind of just lays it all out there during this film. Pete Davidson's dad in real life died, and he was a firefighter. He died in 9/11. But yeah, this kind of brings me to the cast, and this movie features Bill Burr, Marissa Tomei, Pete Davidson, and Steve Buscemi are really the four main people. My favorite part of the movie was Bill Burr, to be honest. He is a genuinely very good actor. I did not expect this coming. He's been in other stuff. He's had a few cameos here and there in other movies, but this is his first like big role in a movie, and he absolutely kills it. If I didn't know, I would honestly think he was a firefighter in real life. Pete Davidson and Bill Burr have a really interesting relationship in the movie, and they really display good chemistry throughout the movie. I hate to say this, but I really feel like Pete Davidson is the weakest point in the movie, but that's not necessarily a bad thing because this movie has really good actors. Steve Buscemi delivers some great scenes in this movie, and one in particular is he's telling Pete Davidson stories about his dad, and it's a very powerful scene. Steve Buscemi really just brings it in this movie. Another thing I noticed, which is kind of weird, is that this movie, I watched Big Time Adolescence with Pete Davidson, and this movie is pretty much just Big Time Adolescence. It's kind of weird. He kind of did make the same movie twice, but I don't really think anybody watched Big Time Adolescence. But he plays the same exact character, kind of just like a low-life loser. I don't know why he really wants to portray himself like that so much. I guess he really wants to be honest about his life and his mental health, but he really did make the same movie twice. This is a way better movie than that because Judd Apatow is just a way better director, and he was just Pete Davidson was surrounded with way better talent in this movie, but it's a very similar movie. This movie was definitely a little bit more personal because it's literally the story of his life, but he plays the same character. But yeah, I was definitely back and forth throughout the whole movie. It was long. There's kind of a large chunk of the movie where you're kind of nodding off a little bit, but there are very, very good scenes, and the back 9 of the movie is way better than the front 9. This movie really does get so much better towards the end, especially when he kind of well, I don't want to, this is going to be spoiler free, but it gets way better towards the back 9. I did enjoy this movie. I ended up enjoying this movie. Halfway through the movie, I was like, oh God, I don't know. I don't think I like this movie, but it kind of regains its balance. And Pete Davidson is hilarious. I love his stand-up. He's got hilarious scenes during the movie, but it's just sometimes he gets overshadowed by Steve Buscemi, who's a fucking all-time actor. He's been in so many good things. Boardwalk Empire, Reservoir Dogs, Grown Ups. IMDb has this movie rated as a 7.2. I think it might be a little bit lower than that. I'd probably give it like high 6.8, somewhere between 6.8 and a 7. Just because of the length of the movie. 2 hours and 16 minutes is long for a comedy. And just the fact that it's a comedy just makes it feel like it's twice as long. I feel like I was watching The Irishman. It's definitely worth a check out. So watch this movie. If you do watch this movie and you're here watching this now, tell me what you thought about the movie. If you think I'm wrong, that's fine. I'd love to hear about it. But yeah, besides that, subscribe to our channel if you want to see more content. Like the video, comment any movies that you'd like me and Joe to watch. And yeah, thank you so much, guys. Relax.